Hey guys, this is the Sports Hub. I'm Connor O'Gara. I'm excited to talk some football today. It's been a long off season. Definitely ready for opening night on Friday night. We're going to give you a 4, 3, 2, 1 preview today. We're going to talk about some players to watch in the area. We're going to talk about some burning questions that we have. We're going to talk about a couple big opening night matchups and then one lofty prediction that might just make me look stupid. So the 4 players I want to talk about that I think are poised for big seasons in the Hub territory, skill players that is, 4 skill players that are due for breakout seasons. And the first one, Colin Witovic at Kozad. Tailback did a lot of good things last year, was a very critical part of their state championship run. He takes over Jake Paulson's job, and there are people that are going to be thinking, how's he going to do that? Well, Witovic actually rushed for 11 yards a carry last year, which was more than Paulson. So he is due for a monster season. Another kid due for a monster season, Terrell Younger. I think he is the Bertrand running back. I think he is going to be another one of those kids that's going to be in the discussion for a rushing title in the Hub territory. Had a shoulder issue last year and said, that injury was a little bit mental. He didn't really necessarily know how to take that varsity hit, and said that mindset, it kind of changed him, and he really learned how to develop into a back this offseason. He said he's going to be just a fearless back, kind of like what he was in the first 3 games of last season. If he has that mindset, I think Younger is going to do some big things in 2014. And then another guy that's really due for a big season, I look at Nick Crowley of Elm Creek, the quarterback. Man, he is going to be one of those guys that I think really steps up and flourishes in that offense. Yes, he doesn't necessarily have the talent that he did last year surrounding him. No Hayden Geist, no Jake Bartling, no Zach Johnson, but I think he and Christian Best are going to form a very formidable duo. I think Jace Dooland is a guy that is going to be able to get the most out of his offense. Elm Creek's going to make another deep run in the postseason. Crowley's a big reason why. And the 4th guy I want to talk about, Trey Taubenheim, quarterback, Amherst. In case you haven't heard, Amherst is going to be pretty good this season. I know they're making the move to D1. After a D2 semifinal season, Taubenheim actually led the Hub territory in touchdown passes as a sophomore last year. The lefty can flat out sling it. He's got talent galore around him. You look at guys like Braden Neckout, Caleb Preble, you got the Divern boys. He's just going to be able to work with a lot of different options. I think Ron Evans' offense is going to have a lot of good balance to it, and they're going to be able to put up some big points. So definitely want to watch out for those 4 guys in the Hub territory. I've got 3 burning questions that I want to look at. And the first one I want to look at is Southern Valley. Bob Fredrickson takes over that program after a very good run at Hyannis. He's coming off a runner-up season, loss in the 6-man championship, but Fredrickson's going to add a wealth of experience. My question is, what kind of impact is he going to have on the culture there? Southern Valley hasn't won a playoff game since 1995. That's a really hard thing to believe, but they have a lot of talent there this year. Jeremiah Perkins, Hunter Quinn, Christian Lewis back for an offense that's going to look to do some big things. I think Fredrickson's going to have a really positive impact. Don't be surprised if the Eagles are making a surprise run in the playoffs. And another question that I have for this upcoming season is really, what's going to be, how are Mike Lowe and Shelton going to be able to reload? That's something to me that I look at a team like that loses 9 varsity letter winners, 9 senior varsity letter winners, and how are they going to be able to adjust without Taryn Hawks, without Jimenez, without Oliver, all these guys that played such big roles for them last year? He said first couple games are just going to be a trial run of sorts. They get Amherst in the opener. That's going to be a really good spot to see what guys are going to be able to play for you, what guys aren't. Jared Mielbach definitely going to need to be able to step up for them. And then I look at Kearney High. Kearney High last year I think surprised a few people by doing the 2 quarterback system. Jacob White, Peyton Pocock did a 2 quarterback system the entire season. Brandon Kuhl knows that that's not a typical thing to do, but he's doing it again this year. And to have 2 senior quarterbacks potentially play their entire varsity careers as 1-2 punches like that would be very atypical, but I don't think Brandon Kuhl cares. I think he likes the fact that they bring different things to the offense. It keeps defenses off balance, and they can't necessarily prepare for one guy. Yes, if one guy goes down, they'll be able to take over, but I think that Kuhl just likes being able to present a lot of different options to the table, and White and Pocock are both definitely capable of doing the job this season. 2 opening games that I'm excited to see. We just talked about the Kearney Bearcats. They get to go to Grand Island for that opening game this season. That's going to be a really good one. Grand Island has all the pressure coming in. They're the ones that are preseason number 4 in the state. They're the ones that have the all-state quarterback. I would really be interested to see how they're going to be able to respond to that pressure, coming in with a lot of expectations. Kearney coming in kind of with a similar mindset to the way that they did in the playoff game last year against number 1 Millard West. They don't really have anything to lose, and Brandon Kuhl knows that if his team gets off to a good start, that could definitely be a really, really good game. Kearney's going to give Grand Island all that they're going to bargain for, I think, in that one. And then I look at Holdridge and Gothenburg. Holdridge, first game in C1 this season, gets to go to powerhouse Gothenburg. Well, powerhouse in that everybody thinks that they're going to be a top 3, top 4 team in C1 this year. Gothenburg has a ton of talent coming in. Obviously, you look at Zach Wolf, you look at an all-state guy like Tanner Borkart. Just a lot to work with. Not going to be an easy test for Jason Hale's bunch. I do think that Holdridge is going to be one of those teams that could make a surprise run later in the season. I just think that under Jason Hale, that team is definitely going in the right direction. All right, and the one lofty prediction that you all have obviously been waiting for. My prediction, and if you saw the fall sports preview section, you saw that this is what I closed my column on, is that the C1 will be represented by the Hub territory in the championship game. I think Cozad, Kearney Catholic, Holdridge even. I think any one of those teams will be in the C1 championship game. Cozad, everybody talks about last year coming off that state title. Are they going to be able to repeat? Last time I checked, Brian Cargill hasn't lost a game since he's been the head man at Cozad. Kearney Catholic coming in, preseason top 10, ton of talent coming back. And I just think that Holdridge, like I said before, under Jason Hale, they're going to be able to surprise some people and do some big things. So I'm just going to make kind of a blanket statement and say one of those 3 teams will be representing the Hub territory in C1 championship game. I'm excited to see it. I'm ready for football season to start. Like I said before, way too long of an off season. I'm ready for Friday night. So definitely make sure that you pick up a copy of our fall sports preview section. That's 28 pages. Sports editor Buck Mahoney and I, we worked our tails off on that. So we definitely want you to pick up a copy of that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I am at CJ O'Gara. He is at Buck. He is Hub Sports _Buck. And then follow Sports Hub blog on Twitter as well. So for Connor O'Gara, this has been Sports Hub. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.